Good morning, students. This is K.Amuthan from Department of Computer Technology, SNS Arts College, and now I am going to deliver about the video, deliver the IP address lecturer video. So this video is master IP address configuration, a step-by-step guide. How do we mastering the IP address? What is mean IP means internet protocol. It is unique IP. It is unique address for each and every computer. So how do we configure IP address? So introduction to the IP address. In this guide, we will explore IP address configuration in detail. Understanding IP addresses is crucial for effective network management. We will cover the basics, types, and the step-by-step process to configure them properly. Let's dive into the world of IP addressing. So there is the steps, IP, the basics of IP and types and step-by-step process to configure them properly. So in understanding the IP address, an IP address is a unique identifier. It is a unique identifier. This unique identifier for device on a network. There are two main types, IPv4 Internet version 4 and IPv6 Internet Protocol version 6. IPv4 is the most common format consisting of 4 octets. Octet is measurement units. While IPv6 is developed to accommodate the growing number of devices. Understanding this format is essential for configuration. These are two static and dynamic IP address. There are two primary types of address assigned, static and dynamic. A static IP is manually assigned and remains constant. IP is manually assigned and remains constant, while the dynamic IP is assigned for DHCP, dynamic configuration protocol server, DHCP server, and can change. Knowing the difference is vital for network setup and management. Configuring a static IP address. How do we configure the static IP address? There is two types, only static and dynamic. To configure static IP address, you need to access your device network settings. First, you go to the network settings, input the desired IP address. Then you go to the network settings and double click. You open the dialog box. In the dialog box, there is IP address is there, subnet mask is there, gateway and domain name system servers. Ensure that the IP is within the correct range and not already in use. So you have to give a IP address and subnet mask and gateway settings. Network settings. After double clicking network settings, you can open network settings, network or Ethernet settings, and after that double click Ethernet settings, you can open a dialog box in IP address. How do we get IP address? IP configures is a keyword which is used to get the IP address and subnet mask and gateway and DNS, domain name server, to ensure that IP within the correct range and not already in use. Configuring the dynamic IP configuration. Ensure your device is set to obtain any IP address automatically. This is typically done through dynamic host configuration protocol. Restart your device to request an IP from the DHCP server, which will assign an unavailable address from its pool, simplifying network management. So dynamic and static. Now into the conclusion part. Mastering IP address configuration is essential for effective network management. Always document your configurations. Use static IPs for critical device and monitor your network for any issues. So what are the best practices to configure IP address? Document your configuration. Use static IPs for critical device and monitor your network for any issues. Following these best practices will enhance your network performance reliability. So these are the IP configuration. One is static and another one is dynamic. So the static and dynamic IP configuration, network settings, you double click network settings and network configuration, and type your IP address, subnet address, gateway address, and domain name server system is domain DNS, domain name system server. So make sure that your IP address can be in the range. Do not use already. Thank you very much. We will see another video in another class.